Well, Mays every week. We normally have it on a Monday, don't we? But we postponed it here because we thought we were more moral, so we could put it off by a day. Jaap Fonseca from Campaign Life joins us, but unfortunately he's growing a beard. Are you becoming a hippie?
You know, I just forgot to shave, that's all.
That'll do.
I won't be a lefty. I won't turn into one. Don't worry.
That's okay then. Now, people, when they discuss the abortion issue, often the cosmetics become so vital to them. I've always found it almost funny that I never mention religion when I talk about abortion. It's always the other side, those who believe in killing babies. They always talk about, they'll say, oh, you're being religious. When have I mentioned religion? I just don't. It's a moral and a scientific issue. But the idea of killing something because it doesn't quite look like the way you want it to, doesn't... Well, let's see a video clip and we'll discuss it afterwards.
At this point, does it have, like, all of its organs and all of that stuff? Like, is it already fully
It's not
developed?
fully developed.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like a baby yet.
It doesn't?
Well, you saw in the insert there, at 23 weeks, what an unborn child looks like, or a born child. It does look like a baby, but is it relevant that it doesn't look... I mean, I look nothing like I did when I was 5 years old. I had full hair, red curly hair, actually. And we changed the way we look, but our human essence remains identical.
Absolutely. You know, from a scientific perspective, and, you know, there's consensus amongst the scientific community that a human being is present from the moment of conception. They have their own distinct DNA. They're either a boy or a girl, baby boy or a girl, and they're developing on their own, by their own function. And so to say, well, because of the way you look, or even because of the question of geography, where the baby is, it reveals a real contempt for the human being and a failure to acknowledge the dignity and worth of every human being.
And this was a clip, I assume the camera was hidden, of an abortionist talking to a...
This was a late-term abortionist. It was a pro-life investigator who went undercover with the camera and was asking the abortion doctor, you know, what's the baby look like? At 24 weeks, she said she was 24
and she
weeks.
lied.
And the doctor lied to her and said, it doesn't even look like a baby. And clearly, you know, there's photos on screen. That's a baby born at 24 weeks or 23 weeks. Clearly, you see a head, face, hands, arms, legs. It's clearly a little tiny human being. So these abortionists are lying to women in order to extract cash, because that's what the abortion industry is really about. It's not about women's rights or helping women. It's about extracting cold, hard cash and becoming millionaires, just like Henry Morgentaler himself became a millionaire through the blood and bones of the children that he dismembered.
I tried to emphasize this point when he died, that most hard-working frontline doctors do not become millionaires, don't get the Order of Canada, don't become celebrities. They just do their work. I think of my GP, and what a decent, dedicated man. Here is someone who gained so much because he said, I'm not doing that. I have disdain for that. I want to get into... Now, speaking of making money, the contraceptive pill, we shouldn't just call it the pill. I mean, pills make you better. This doesn't make you better in any way. Again, I wish the left would have realized the billions of dollars made by big pharmaceutical companies through the contraceptive pill. Yaz and Yasmin, birth control, linked to 24 Canadian women dying.
That's right.
This broke about a week ago, but we didn't have time to discuss it.
Yeah, this is a very popular, in terms of sales, birth control pill, a hormonal birth control pill in Canada, Yaz and Yasmin, made by Bayer Pharmaceutical. And there's been at least 24 Canadian women who've died from taking this pill, possibly up to 40, says one of the two lawyers involved in the class action lawsuits being brought against the Yaz manufacturer, and hundreds of women that are claiming injury and pain as a result of taking this pill. And, you know, furthermore, we can look into the, you know, and most of them died, by blood clots, which is a known risk factor for all hormonal birth control pills. And I think this betrays an inherent misogyny by those who push the birth control pill on women. Because in 2005, the World Health Organization came out with a report that said that the hormonal birth control pill is a carcinogen, a group 1 carcinogen to human beings. And you know, you think about a doctor, it's unlawful in the US and I believe in Canada too, for a doctor to prescribe performance-enhancing steroids to teenagers, to underage people. Yet, we have at the same token doctors aggressively pushing onto young people these powerful hormonal chemicals that are even linked to an increased risk for breast cancer.
Well, I mean, it seems to me, I'm certainly not an expert in this issue, but I've interviewed many people who are. The contraceptive pill actually may prevent certain cancers, but also can encourage other cancers. Beyond all of that, taking some sort of medication that profoundly alters a fundamental working of the female body must have an effect. And to give them out like candy seems to be absurd to me. Now, I want to change issues here, but I don't really want to read this out loud. I'll let you do it because there are all sorts of naughty words.
Oh, thank you.
In this, Crazy Domains and Pamela Anderson. Take it away.
All right, well, nothing sells fast internet speeds like Pamela Anderson groping another sexy babe covered in whipped cream or some kind of slimy substance. So what happened here was very recently the British Standards Authority...
Do we have videos? Just shut up for a minute. No, Karen speaking. Yeah,
sure.
Okay, I'm listening.
So the British Standards Authority banned this TV commercial that was being run by an internet domain registration company.
Right.
Because people saw it and they were outraged. A lot of people complained and said, this is gross. You're actually picturing, you're displaying this guy who's in a meeting with Pamela Anderson where she's leading her male counterparts in a meeting, and suddenly this guy starts to fantasize about her being covered in this foam, and it looks like he's fantasizing about ejaculating all over her.
Right. Whatever that means, yeah.
So the British Standards Authority reviewed it and said, yes, this is degrading to women, it objectifies women, and we're banning this commercial. So, you know, from a moral maze perspective, I guess you have to balance the freedom of expression of advertisers to market their wares versus moral standards on TV.
She's a moron, and I don't even find that very attractive, actually. I mean, it's like a caricature, sort of David Menzies sort of thing. But, I mean, seriously, I don't think... But I suppose if she wants to take money to perform in a sluttish manner, she should be allowed to. But it says a great deal about society, doesn't it? That advertising executives, people who are so wealthy and so powerful would come together and say, this will sell. And they put it on TV. And they must have lost a lot of money because that wouldn't have been cheap to make.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And good. I'm glad. It sends a good lesson to those waiting in the wings who are thinking of doing something similar that degrades women, objectifies women, and reduces sex to a mere pastime.
I'm with Simpatico. What would I know? Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.